It's time.
Do you have time?
Do you know what time it is?
The time is
The
now.
time is now.
The time is now.
Do you know what time it is? The time is now.
The time
Do you
is
know
now.
what time it is? The time is now. Do you know what time it is? The time is right now.
Do you have time?
Get caught in a net with Annette. For your mind, body, and soul gets caught in a net with Annette. It's your intellectual radio show, here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in a net with Annette.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your hosts, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Well, great afternoon, guys. Welcome to another wonderful segment of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I'm your girl, your host. I am also the CEO of Get Caught in a Net Incorporated, two-time award-winning author of Surviving a Silenced Heartbeat, author of Here We Grieve Again, Companion Journal, and also your certified mental health ambassador. Listen, guys, I'm so excited. It is Wednesday. I always say when you see my face around 12 noon Central Standard Time, it is time for you to come on in and get caught in a net. We've got a great one for you on today, guys. I am going to present a new guest. It's a new year. We will have, of course, returning guests, new guests, and today is a new one that I have just met myself, and I'm excited because of her project. But before we get started, Lord, we thank you for all things. We thank you for what you're doing, what you've done, how you're blessing us and helping us and giving us the wisdom and direction that you want us to have. Get the glory out of this segment and everything we go to say and do in Jesus' name. And the first part of Hosea 4:6 states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And again, we are grateful to be here on this afternoon. I'm excited because I'm going to present someone to you that I believe you're going to benefit from on today. So let me bring in author Nijiama Smalls. How are you on this afternoon?
Hi, Annette. I'm so glad to be here. It's Nijiama, actually, pronounced Nijiama. Yes. But I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you for that. And guys, I did ask her how to say it in the beginning, so I'm just going to say author Smalls going through because I don't want to mess it up anymore. But thank you for that correction. Now, I am glad and grateful that you are here on today. Listen, before we jump into talking to you, I want to encourage those of you that are watching, whether you watch it live or whether you come back and watch the broadcast. I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and throw out the share, the like button, the love button, the thumbs up, if you would not mind doing that. When you do that, you're pushing this out and you are allowing other people to be able to watch it and to come in and interact with us on this afternoon. You can always tag individuals directly into this live stream as well. We are live on my Facebook page, Annette Get Caught in a Net. and also YouTube and Instagram at Get Caught in the Net. So you shouldn't miss us. You shouldn't miss us. If one of your avenues go down, go to the other one, and you will not be disappointed on this afternoon. Listen, we have a new book alert out. Author Smalls has The Bad Girl's Guide to Discovering Purpose. I like that title alone. It will grab your attention. Come on now, because you're thinking, you said Bad Girl's Guide? What does that mean? But then you're talking about discovering purpose. So it's got to be something positive in there, right? And so we have this author on today. Now, I understand that this book itself is going to encourage women to use the most painful past, heartaches, to create a life that is worth living today. And this is, I received that through her bio and, a little introduction about herself. There's so much more that author Smalls will bring to us. But I would like to ask you, if you would not mind introducing yourself to us, to my audience. Talk about who you are professionally, personally, if you wouldn't mind doing that for us.
Yes. Thank you so much, Annette, again. My name again is Nijiama Smalls. Many folks know me as Naj. I am first and foremost a child of the Most High God. I'm grateful for everything He has done. It is by His will that I'm here today. I am a mother. I'm a wife. My husband is Pastor Shimon Smalls of Zion Church Woodbridge. So I wear the First Lady hat as well. And my children are, we're raising them as PKs and trying to navigate what that feels like and what that means. But also supporting women is indeed my passion. Loving women, supporting women, being there for women and for girls, helping us to understand who we are and the gifts that we have. It's so easy for us as women to give everybody else access to our self-esteem, right? And so we have to reclaim that, take back our self-esteem, and learn who we are and to stay rooted and grounded in this so that regardless of whatever happens or occurs in our life, we know who we are. We can stand firm.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So can I ask you real quick now, where did this passion for helping women? I mean, of course, you're a woman, but where did this passion come from to really focus on that, set of people?
So I've been working professionally in program management for many, many years, supporting the most vulnerable individuals in our societies, right? Typically where I live in Washington, D.C., that's D.C. Ward 7 and 8. And that is the remnants. Many of the individuals that are marginalized are the remnants of the crack cocaine epidemic, right? And so those who would show up, because what we were doing, we were providing housing and transportation and all of those types of things, education, all of those types of things, right? But who would show up would be women. It would be us who would show up time and time again. But at the same time, I would see behaviors that would hold us back, behaviors that reflected wounds, that reflected abandonment wounds, that reflect mommy wounds, daddy wounds. And many of those wounds, just to be honest, were privy to us in the Black community. It was the same wounds I was seeing them that I was seeing myself, even though my parents weren't addicted to, drugs and alcohol, but I still had some of those wounds that I saw in them in myself. And it would show up as self-sabotage. It would be the wound. It would be the thing that would make you curse somebody out when you didn't feel understood or you didn't feel heard. It would be the thing that would, give you anxiety and make you not want to show up for the job interview. So those types of things. So I really wanted to hone in and work with women. So I started with the first book, The Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds. But then I wanted to, in this particular book, I wanted to make it for every woman. I wanted to make it for every woman who felt like they didn't follow the script, right? Because I feel like society hands us the script. You go to school, you go to college, then you get married, you have kids, and you live happily ever after. Not all of us followed that. Many of us made different choices. Many of us had interruptions in that. And then you get to a point where you think, I'm too messed up. I've made too many bad decisions to live a meaningful life, to live a purposeful life. But I wanted women to know that God still has a plan for you, and that can be a part of your plan. I've met many women who had children very young, early on as a teen, and now they have organizations that support teen moms. So they've used that pain to help and support others. So that's the message of this book, is what you may have believed was an interruption really turned out to be a part of God's plan that he can use for good.
Oh, I love that. I love your spirit already. I'm telling you.
Thank you, Annette.
I love it. I'm over here just smiling and just listening. But we need that. You know what I mean? You were able to relate to these individuals. You know, you said you saw some things that maybe you had even experienced, you know, whatever level that may have been on. And, you know, so then in that respect, you're like, okay, I want to see if I can help them. You know,
Yes.
and here come the books. Here come the, you know, you reaching out and seeing what they need to help them. I love that. I absolutely love it. And again, we need that, especially in our community. You know, we have to have that. And then you want to encourage them. You're not alone. There is a purpose for your life.
There is a purpose, yes.
There is a purpose. And I always tell people, I say, you know, our journey is not for us alone.
That's right.
So what we go through and what we deal with, you know, sometimes it may be the roughest thing. We may go through the hardest of times. But then, you know, when you get further and the Lord blesses you, and you look back, you're like, okay, that was for a reason. And then you can go and encourage someone else that's possibly going through similar, you know, things that you've experienced. So that's why I say that our journey is not for us alone. Wow, I love this. I absolutely love this. And so you said you're in DC?
I'm right outside of the DC area. Yes.
Okay. All right. I have family out there. So this is good stuff, and I'm going to make sure, because I have a niece who's a producer and a director, and my nephews as well. Making sure they get in contact with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is great. Thank you for giving us a little bit of background about yourself, and then, you know, answering the question of how you even got on that road.
Right.
It's good to know and good to learn about. Now, I saw something in here about a Black Girl Healing Project. So is that? I mean, obviously, it's all a part of this, right? And is this something that when was this created? And you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes. So what happened was, after I wrote the book, The Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds, people wanted more. And then, you know, they would find the book and they would, contact me, DM me, whatever the case is. And they were like, you know, I read the book. I want more. What's the next step? What's after the book? And then I wrote another book. I wrote the devotional that goes with it. And then there was still more. People were still responding, still contacted me. And so then I created this platform called it's the website by the same name, The Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds. And it's a site where you can go and you can get resources 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to help you wherever you are in the healing process. There's wellness plans that you need to create, that you can create. There's videos and so on. We even created a section for our church leaders, our lay leaders, that help them to make sure that their church is healthy and how to respond to church hurts and so forth. And so and there was a point where I was charging a subscription fee. And then it hit me. Not everybody can afford that subscription fee. And so I wanted to make it accessible to everybody, regardless of where you are financially. And so that's where the nonprofit came into play, because it allows me to provide these resources without worrying about charging anyone a fee for that. And so we do giveaways. we are getting ready to work in some of the hardest hit areas, Annette. There's a school in Cleveland that it's has a high suicide rate. So we are in contact with them, and we're going to work with them to make sure the students there know that they're loved, they know that they're valued, they know that they have a purpose. And so those are some of the things that we are doing. We also provide free therapy for folks. We have a list of providers that have signed up to allot time to provide therapy for individuals. So that
Yes.
just gives you an idea of just it came because I wanted to be able to serve more people,
Mm,
and especially the people who need us the most.
yeah. Yeah. Well, honey, I am so grateful that we have made this connection. I want to tell you that straight out because
Thank
it
you.
sounds like you and I both had the same heart, the same passion.
Hmm.
Because I mean, you just look around, your heart just goes out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because individuals are just really, really, they're really going through, you
Oh
know,
yes, oh yes.
and suffering silently, suffering alone.
Hmm.
Which we both know they don't have to do that, but we have to get
Right.
the word out so that they
Hmm.
will know that, right? So this,
Hmm.
this is beautiful. I love it, and I want to, even after this interview, make sure that I'm still connected with
Oh
you,
yes. Hmm.
so we can maybe we can work on some projects together. I don't know,
Yes,
but
absolutely.
this is absolutely wonderful. I'm just loving this, and we haven't even gotten to talking about your book yet.
We're connecting, we're vibing.
We're doing that. We're doing it. I love it. So this book, The Bad Girl's Guide to Discovering Purpose.
Hmm.
Okay, and this was just released. Is that correct?
January. This January, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. And so obviously it comes on the heels of your other books, of the
Hmm.
foundation.
Hmm.
And so you had already started talking about the purpose,
Hmm.
wanting women to discover their purpose.
Hmm.
Um, so talk a little bit further about this book. How long did it take you to write it? Maybe what was some pros and cons, or some, anything that you maybe ran into as you were writing this.
It's interesting because before I wrote this book, I said I wasn't writing any more books because it's such a process. It's
Okay.
almost like giving birth.
Yes.
It's a whole process, and you're trying to get everything out, and you walk away from it, you come back to it, and you know that kind, and it consumes your time. It consumes a lot of your time writing it. And I said I wasn't going to write another book, but when I know God wants me to do something, the words just start flowing. And
See?
that's what happened with this book. The words just started flowing. And I met people. I talk about many people in the book who found purpose and what that looks like for them. And it all starts with everyone having a passion for people. And that's what I want people to understand, is that because there's a chapter where I talk about what purpose is and what purpose isn't, right? And people, we put these numbers in front of us. If I can make $1 million, if I could sell 1 million books, and if I can do this and I can do that, I. But
Right.
purpose isn't about that. Purpose isn't about monetizing. It's about, what can I do in service to others? How can I use my gifts, my talents, my time, my energy, my effort to make someone else's life better, to make someone else's experience a little bit better. And so that's what I wanted to convey and people to understand as I was writing this book. And thank God, all the people that I reached out to were willing and able. And for those that are from the DC area, you'll be you'll see some very familiar names and people and places within the book. And it's just interesting how God uses the things that you never think that he's thinking about, the experiences
Yes.
that you may think are painful, or you may think are minuscule, can be a part of his purpose. And I share a lot of myself in the book. Each book I pour out my heart and my soul, and I share even the ugly parts, the parts that I don't like to talk about, the parts where I had failed, the parts where I had made huge mistakes, especially before I was married, thank God, before I was even a decent human being, I say, those
I get
mistakes.
it. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, those mistakes you made, and sometimes we try to hide them, like you hope no one ever finds out about them. But once you get to a place where you are healing, those mistakes no longer have control over you.
Come
They
on
no
now.
longer have power over you, and that's what I want everyone to understand. This book helps you to understand what avenue you want to be able to tell your story, because we all have a story to tell, and that story is powerful. That story can set someone free.
Mm,
And you got to decide right now, what's your mean to get that story out.
yeah.
Get that out of you, because if you are listening to this, God has something.
Yes.
It's not by coincidence that you are listening to this conversation. God has something he wants to do with you.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, come on now. Now she done went and put on the first lady hat. Did y'all see that? You see how she did that? I love it though. I absolutely love it. Because even in the spiritual position that you're in as a first
Mhm.
lady, we still want to be able to connect. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
Not that you're such in a high,
Right.
and you
Mhm.
can't deal with the people,
Mhm.
or whatever on any other level. So I'm loving hearing this, and I want to take this other first lady in, because she deals with mental health, and
Mhm.
all the aspects of what we're talking about today. I love it when people of I mean spirit in the spiritual light, that they can relate to the natural. I'll just say
Mhm.
it like that.
Absolutely.
I'll
Yeah.
just say it like that. So this
Great
this is
point.
wonderful. Let's see, Gina Gatson. This is a wonderful young lady. She has an organization, and I'm going to see if I can ask you. I'm going to see if I can make a connection. Maybe you could submit your books. She
Mhm.
has a wonderful foundation, Distinguished Author Guild, and they give awards for books, and I've won through them, for one
Mhm.
of my books.
Mhm.
But she's a wonderful lady, and she says, when you were talking about writing books, she said it is birthing. There are
Yep.
pains of labor, and then pains of joy.
Yes, right, Gina. Yes, you get it. You get it.
I totally understand. But yes, this is something, because I chuckled when you said you weren't going to write any more books. I said that too.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then I pinned another one. I'm like, okay, Lord, whatever you say.
Yes. Whatever you
But
want me
yeah,
to do. Here we
yeah,
go.
I know. It's like you kind of like give, because it has nothing to do with me at all. I want God to get the glory, and I want
Absolutely.
Him to be glorified. I want others helped. My heart, I
Mhm.
just want to help people. I just want to help them in
Yes.
whatever way I can.
Same.
Yeah,
Same. We're on the
yeah.
same page.
You and I got a kindred spirit. I
Mhm.
sense that already. That is already that
Yes.
is already what I see. So I've already said how impressed I am with you taking on this task. So when you were going in this route, to try and help women,
Mhm.
discover their purpose, kind of what were some of the drawbacks, if any? I don't know, maybe from naysayers, or you talking to yourself, because sometimes you can almost talk yourself out of stuff. Maybe kind of talk about some of that for us, and how you persevere through it.
I don't really think there were any drawbacks or any obstacles when it came down to writing this book about perfect. The only thing was time, just trying to make sure I had time for everything, and then I wanted to be respectful as always
Yeah.
of everybody, because as I said, I mentioned quite a few people in the book who have found their purpose, and I wanted to make sure that I did justice
Okay.
as I'm sharing their snippets of their story, and just the people that I've met along the way. There's an entire chapter dedicated to the people we meet along the way. And just like we're having this conversation, the people that you meet along the way are part of your purpose. And sometimes whether they are good or bad, You know,
Yeah.
those people uh, are pouring into your life or taking something out of you, even if it's negative interactions where you want to punch this person out. That incident, that situation is showing you something about yourself,
Yep.
right? It's showing you, it's pointing you to a place where you need to heal. It's pointing you a place where it is maybe showing you where you have grown. Because you can sometimes you say, well, you know what, 10 years ago, I probably would have punched you. But today I can say, you know what, sis, it is well with my soul. You take care. And so the people along the way are so pivotal to our purpose, and sometimes they push us in directions that we need to be pushed, and they inspire us. I talk about a girl I met years ago when I first moved to the DC area, and this woman was always so poised and polished and professional, and she was an attorney. We started having conversations. I would have never guessed that she was a drug mule for one of the biggest dealers in DC. Yes. And this is before the air TSA was at the airports. So she would fly drugs in and out on her person from New York and all over these places for the dealers, right? And she was a homeless teen, and she talks about how she ate out of trash cans and so on. But that conversation inspired me years and years ago. That conversation still stays with me, and just how she was able to transform herself, and just the people she met. It was a boyfriend who told her about a position as a receptionist at his law firm. She got that position, and then it was one of the attorneys a few years later said, "You're smart. Why don't you go to law school? And we have tuition reimbursement." And she pursued law school, and today she is an attorney. And so it shows me the power of transformation. God can change anybody. And
Okay.
she today is a champion for homeless youth based on her. I'm just sharing all of that to say, I one of the things I just wanted to make sure that I was doing everybody justice with their stories as I present those.
Okay. All right. And she's in that. That's one of the
Yep,
stories.
yep, she's in the book. Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Ooh, wait, I am loving. I got chills when you told me about her transformation. I love it. God knows what to do and who to work through and
Who to work
with.
through. Yes, absolutely.
And I am grateful that you were able to connect with her. Initially, you saw the transformation.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that goes to show, it's like that we say, I don't know, I don't look like what I've been through.
Come on now.
You never know what a person has gone through in their life. And that's why I always try to be kind, and I smile and say hello to everybody when I meet them, whether I know you or not. You're going to get a smile from me.
Right.
Because you don't know what that person just went through. You don't know what's going on in that person's mind. So sometimes just someone seeing them, just acknowledging them, and I try to compliment. I love a compliment. I'm a complimenter. So I say, hey, girl, love that. Oh, shit.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And you know what? I love that spirit too, because we need to do more of that, especially amongst us.
Mm-hmm.
But we also know how to do it too. We'll see somebody like walking out. Okay, shoes.
Yeah, right. That's us. Right.
But that's beautiful, though. Oh my goodness. So now I have to get your book. I was looking for it, but I have to get your book because it sounds very, very inspirational. And I think many people need to get their hands on it for sure, for sure. Listen, guys, if you're just now joining us, we are here, Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette with another segment. And of course, this is new season. Of course, we're celebrating Black History Month on this month of February. But my guest today is Arthur Smalls, and her book is The Bad Girl's Guide to Discovering Purpose. Of course, we talked about so many other things that she has done professionally. Black Girl Healing Project, She's also, written another book before this. Actually, how many books before this one?
3 books before this: The Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds, The Black
Okay.
Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds, the devotional, and my husband and I wrote The Black Family's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds, and that's for women and men from
Oh,
all generations. We got our
yes.
baby boomers because we want our baby boomers to heal and be
Okay.
better, and then we got the Gen Zs that we want to bring into the healing process.
And so, like you said, you wanted to make sure that you represent all, and I that is so important, because we all, of course, different generations, we experience things differently.
Yes.
We were raised differently.
Absolutely.
So when situations come, you
Mhm.
know, those may be similar, but how do we
Mhm.
handle it? We're going to handle it a different way, probably more than likely.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
getting in our hands on books like you have written and learning and understanding how to maneuver through life
Mhm.
is going to be very, very key. So this is wonderful. So if you guys have any questions or comments for my guests, you can go ahead and throw it into the comment section. I do see that Apostle Sharon Peters Ruff, she is an author. I don't know how many books she's written by now. She
Hello, Apostle.
probably 10 plus. I don't know, but she's well, that might be a low number. But anyway, and she also deals with, she's an apostle. She preaches, she teaches, and she also deals
Mhm.
in that mental health area as well. And we're grateful for her. Theodore Chestnut, thank you, my friend, for coming in. He's enjoying listening to you, and he says he concurs with some of the many of the things that you've already spoken on today. Listen, guys, I want to encourage you. I'm going to take a little station break right here and ask my guests to let us know where we can purchase your books. Let us know where we can purchase them, and then we can move forward from there.
Absolutely. You can purchase the books, The Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds, the book, the devotional. There's a journal also, I forgot to mention, and The Black Family's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds, and The Bad Girl's Guide to Discovering Your Purpose. All of those are on Amazon. They are on Apple Books, Books a Million, barnesandnoble.com. You can find them on ebook and print copies as well. The Bad Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds is on Audible. It's the only one right now that
Oh,
is an audio book. We're working to get the other ones on audio as well.
okay, all right, that's important. I'm hearing more people ask about audio
Yeah.
books,
Hmm.
and so yeah, I love that. I love this that you're getting that together for the other books as well. Apostle Dion Hunt, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you, my friend. He says greetings, ladies. And
We got all the apostles, the body of Christ here.
okay, all right. Because if you didn't hear, if you're just not coming in, this is a first lady, a pastor's wife. I have on here, in addition to being an author and an advocate, and she has her own foundation. So she's got her hands in many things to help God's people. And
Mhm.
that's, I love it. I
Yeah,
absolutely love it. So
exactly.
let's see. Let me ask you a question. So
Sure.
whether it's this book or the previous books or journals that you've written, would you say that your books or your projects were influenced by your life or by your experiences?
I think a combination of both.
Okay.
I think they had a heavy influence. I was heavily influenced by the people around me. I talk about in The Bad Girl's Guide to Discovering Purpose
Yeah.
that my mother and my grandmother were hairstylists, right? And my grandmother became a pastor later in her life, her and my grandfather. But I was in hair salons all day, every day. This was back in the day. We didn't do daycare and all of that. You went to grandma's, you went to mom's, you were in the salon, right? And so because of that, I saw women at their best
Mm,
and I saw women at their worst. I saw women when they would come in, that regular standing every 2-week appointment to come
yes.
from some self-care and they would chit chat and so on. But then I saw them when they had to get their hairstyle because they were on their way to a funeral of a
Yeah.
dear loved one. I saw them when someone forced them to get their hair done or encourage them to get their hair done because they weren't taking care of themselves. I saw them when they're getting their hair done because they're headed to the court appointment. And I listened to the stories. I heard all of those stories as a child in that salon as they would pour their heart out to my grandmother and my mother. And so that's when women became important to me.
Okay.
I believe that helped me to understand women, our emotions, what we go through, and how we show up
Yeah.
in these moments, and how important it is to be a comfort to women. And some of these women, they became like family because they would come to my grandmother and my mom so often, frequently. They would just pour out their hearts to them. And so I would just hear their stories and hear the pain. And so I think that played a lot into how I show up today, and just my passion for women in general, and our transformation and what we go through.
Okay. Okay. Now you are further blowing my mind. Now, did you say your mom or your grandmother was a hairstylist?
Both mom and grandma.
You know, my mother was a hairstylist. Well, you
Oh,
don't know,
wow.
but my mother was a hairstylist.
Well, that's why you got the hair laid over there.
Further
Right.
connection here. But as you were talking, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's taking me through that's how you're right. We didn't go to a babysitter. We were either
Mm.
mama or grandma one, but we would be in the shop with mama,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and we were able to observe,
Mhm.
those coming in. And you said it so clearly. You saw them at their best and you saw them at their worst, and,
Absolutely.
and so you were able to experience that.
Hmm.
And not only did you see what the clients were going through, but you were
Hmm.
able to see your mom and your grandmother be able to minister to them.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. 100%.
I love
100%.
it. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. There was a little paragraph in here that your assistant sent me that kind of caught my attention, where a few of them
Mhm.
did.
Mhm.
But it says here, in reference to the Bad Girl's Guide to Discovering Purpose, you want to challenge the idea that purpose must be linear, polished, or perfectly planned.
Mhm.
Kind of talk about this a little bit more for me. Unpack that for me, if you would not mind, because we do have that mentality that our purpose has to be linear or
Mhm.
polished, you
Mhm.
know, or all the way set. So
Mhm.
unpack that a little bit. Why you felt the need to challenge this idea?
Because I think we allow our interruptions, our disruptions, even the paths we take, the path we didn't take,
Mm,
and any mistakes we make, and we internalize those things, and we say, you know what, my life is messy, or I've made some mistakes. Purpose isn't for me. But I think it's the complete opposite. The people who have the most powerful testimonies, the most powerful stories, are the ones who've made the mistakes, who haven't followed all of the, quote unquote, right steps, right? Because now you have wisdom to share. Now you have insight to share, right? And so I think we need to look at purpose a little differently, right? Instead of, and especially of those of us who are parents, who get upset when our child takes a different path or they get off course, right? I'm in a lot of groups with different pastors' wives,
okay.
and many people want their children to do the things, right? And we all do, right? We want our child to get saved, love the Lord,
Come on
go
now.
to college, stay pure, get married, do all the things, right? But that doesn't always happen, right? And we have to be comfortable and understand that their walk is their walk.
Mm,
And they have to have a testimony. They can't live off of my testimony. They can't live off of my story. They can't live off of my purpose. They have to develop their own. And I have to take a step back and let them live life for themselves. Because I live life, I live a lot of life, right? I lived a lot of life.
Right.
And so I think we have to empower people. See, when we come from that place where we say there is no mistake, there is no mistake, no bad decision, no disruption that God cannot use for his glory. It's one of the things in the book I talk about is some of the most powerful when I go into the communities, right? And I interact with everybody when I'm at different buildings. The counselors, the peer-to-peer counselors for addiction counselors and alcoholics. Some of the most profound counselors are those who have been through it.
Mm.
Those who have been through it because they know what it's like to have their soul snatched and their willpower snatched by a demon that is hard to overcome. So those are the individuals that make the most effective counselors. And you will hear individuals shout, listen, my counselor over here, my counselor, this is my counselor. I don't know what I would do without my counselor. My counselor comes to pick me up. My counselor calls me. It's like my counselor can feel when I'm having a slip. They'll call me just at the right time. They've come into crack houses and picked me up and that kind of thing. And so my point is to say, God can use you.
Mm.
Use you. If you look behind any rehab center or operation, you will find someone who's been there, done that.
Yeah.
And they are just allowing God to use them.
Mhm. Yeah, I love it. Ooh, I love this. I love it. And you put a good emphasis on talking about counselors there, mentioning
Mhm.
that. That's so important. And then knowing you have somebody in your corner like that.
Right, exactly.
Is
And I
beautiful.
think we all need peer-to-peer support, right?
Yeah.
Wherever we are, whatever we have going on, it's so important to have that peer-to-peer support. Um, Whether it comes from accountability partner, a prayer partner, back in the day. I don't think that this generation does prayer partners. Back in my day, we said you have a prayer partner, right?
Right. Sure did.
Sure did. And so I think we need those peer-to-peer support people that on our worst day, we have someone to go to. I always ask people who on your worst day, who do you go to? Who can you count on to
Yeah.
pick you up, to support you on your worst day? It's like the movie by Tyler Perry Straw with Taraji P. Henson.
Yeah.
And on her, she went through a very bad day. And Sherry Shepherd was her angel. She didn't judge her. She didn't challenge her. Even when she saw the hallucinations, she knew that it was hallucinations that she was going through and that it was grief showing up. She never challenged that.
Mm-mm.
She never said, "Girl, you crazy. Get out of here." She with compassion, she
Mm.
walked that lady through. So that's what I'm challenging all of us
Mhm.
is to be that person for someone on their one day, on
Oh,
their worst day, that safe space, that non-judgmental person that someone can call on and count on. And then you also have to find your person
yep.
for
Yep.
you on your worst day.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that because even as you were saying it, I'm like, okay, who can I? I'm thinking in my mind, you know what I'm saying? You have to find that person, people, whoever,
Exactly.
to be able to be there for you. And, even as you're giving out, you need to be able to receive as
Absolutely.
well. Oh my goodness. I feel like a kid in a candy store right now. I'm loving this conversation. I'm
Well,
loving,
thank you. I'm enjoying it as well. Yes.
yeah, this is good stuff right here. Before we kind of wrap up here, I want to ask you to unpack this sentence here. You have rather than offering prescriptive advice, you invite your readers into a deeply affirming process of self-discovery, healing, and clarity. So, with that in mind, who are you uh, or maybe I'll ask this. I know your book just came out, this latest book,
Mhm.
but how many other individuals have been helped by following you, whether it's through your foundation or the prior books or journals that you have written? Maybe can you share maybe a person or two that have been blessed by what God has given you to give out?
Yes, absolutely. I want to share that I have an e-newsletter that goes out once a week.
Okay.
And yeah, and this conversation, I'll probably drop the link to this conversation in there. And it goes out to over 35,000 Black women therapists, providers, just people in general, right? And I get so many, I always try to include nuggets to help us grow, to wisdom, whatever, in the newsletter, as well as, relevant information and so on. And so I always get conversations back from women there. But one of the things that really changed me is there's an organization called Black Girl Smiles, and they're 501c3, and they support Black girls who are coming out of transitional living and the most severe situations. And when the Black Girls Got to Healing Emotional Wounds first came out, she bought over 150 books and gave them out. There was one young lady that reached out to me, and she said, "This book is like the mother I never had, the wisdom I never had." And she was like, "It was given to me as I was just leaving treatment center." And she was like, "I refer back to it as often as I can." And so for me, I try to do everything from a place of compassion. When you talked about the part about not prescriptive healing, I don't try to preach at people. You do this, you do that, you do that. That's not where I'm coming from, right? I'm coming from a place of, I've been there.
Okay.
Been there, done that, lived that too. And it is just by the grace of God. There's a lot of things I did. I tell my kids, it's by God's grace that mama wasn't caught.
Okay. That's right. Yeah.
So every day, so every day we pray together. We pray for God's safety, grace, and mercy. Grace and mercy. Grace and mercy. So anyway, so those are some of the comments that I get when people, and those are the things that touch my heart when people say, this book really challenged me. It really changed me. It really helped me. One lady posted on social media the other day. No, I'm sorry. It was ambassadors. I have a group of ambassadors now. They're going out to community, championing, being representatives of the Black Girl Healing Project. And so I asked them why they wanted to be a ambassador. And one lady said, "This book took me through some very tough times in life." Yeah. So it's the comments like that really fuel my soul and let me know, more importantly, that I am really doing the work that I should be doing.
That's it. Yeah, you're on the right track. So
You're on the right.
keep going.
I said, it's about being in service to others. What can I do, y'all? Y'all ask yourselves this question. What can I do using my skills, my gifts, my talents, and my story to make the load a little lighter for someone else? How can I support someone else in this journey? Because life is hard. Life is tough, y'all. And so we need something to help us.
Yeah.
As we're on this journey.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I see you guys coming in. Abundance House says they're watching from Ghana. Thank you so
wow.
much.
Hello, Abundance House.
Thanks so much for coming in. Oh my goodness, this has been good. I'm going to ask her a couple more questions before we end on today. I want to ask you if you could do for me, take your time and give us some final words of encouragement for those who are watching now or who will watch. Maybe something you haven't shared yet during this conversation on today. Something that would help to encourage, whether it's the women, like you say, you like to make sure you are, reaching everyone. So whether it's to women, men, all of us, some tidbits that we can grab and take with us.
I'd like for everybody to look at, take a look at their past and take a look at those things, situations that you may have felt deterred you or were taking you off path. Take a look and see if they really put you on the right path, right? Because as I said, those things that we may consider to be disruptions and interruptions and so on, those things really are probably God's way of putting us back on the path
Mm,
that we needed to be on, right? And then ask yourself, how can you use your story to help others? And it could be, or your time and your talents. It can be, and I give you in the book so many different people that um, are used to help other people in this day and age. So ask yourself, how can you be a vessel to
mm.
support someone? What can you do to help and support another person? And please don't ever think that you can't be used, that you don't have a purpose. He has a purpose for all of us. And as I said previously, if you are listening to this conversation, please know that it is not by coincidence that you are here listening to me and Annette chat. It is God's way of saying, I've got more for you to do. I've
Come
got
on now.
something for you to do. And it's
Yeah.
time for you to do it. So grab the book, start the journey with me. And I look forward to hearing your feedback. Reach me and let me know how the journey is going for you.
Beautiful. I love it. And thank you for saying reach me, because that was my next question. How can everyone find you?
Instagram, Najima Smalls in real life, just the way it smells, spelled Najima Smalls in real life. We have a book group, The Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds. It's a group, and we are reading the book together, and we're going to have discussions once a month. The book has questions at the end to help you self-reflect
Hmm.
on your journey and peel back the layers to understand who you are. Because the first thing we have to do is establish who we are and our identity. And we go over all of that, our gifts, understanding our temperaments, and
Yes.
why we show up the way we show up. And so those questions will help you kind of understand that, and so on. So join us in the group as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful. This has been tremendous. I thank you again. Listen, give a huge shout out to your assistant for reaching out to me.
Oh, I
She
will.
she did a wonderful job, and the correspondence was wonderful. But the initial reach out, I'm grateful that she did.
Oh,
Uh,
excellent. Thank you, Annette. I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
you. Grateful to
Sure.
meet you.
Likewise, likewise, likewise. So this has been great. I mean, you know what, you guys, you have to get the book. Please make sure you follow my guest on today. I don't know if you're able to, do you have a website?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. The Black Girl's
Um,
Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds.com is the website.
okay, so the Black Girl's Guide, I'm going to type it into the comment section.
Okay. Can I do that too?
Okay. Black Girl's Guide to,
HealingEmotionalWounds.com.
okay. Guys, I am placing her website in the comment section. I want you to be able to, can you connect with her there? She's already told you she's on Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
Uh, okay, wonderful. So you shouldn't. There should be no reason for you to miss connecting with my guest, because I believe you will benefit from it. And she already stated that she is she's going reading through the book, and there are questions in the back of the book. So I think this is something that you can benefit from, whether it's for yourself or the church group or whatever kind of group that you are a part of. I believe that you will definitely benefit. So this has been great, and we're gonna make sure we connect again, and then I still want to have you back on the show again.
Oh, I'd love to. Yes. Excellent.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
love to come
you're
back.
doing some wonderful things, and I want to keep that connection. Because you're helping people, and that
Mhm.
is You know, I already said my passion and what I love to do.
Yeah,
You know, even
absolutely.
in my position. So,
Mhm.
all right, thank you again. Thank you
Thank
to
you.
those who are watching the comments, those who will watch later. Make sure that if you have any questions for my guest or comments, go ahead and throw it into the comment section. We can make sure that she is tagged, so she should be able to see your comments here on Facebook. Okay, guys, and just thank you again for joining us. This is already starting out to be a great year. We had our January guests on last month, of course, and it's already February. We are just
I
moving
know.
this year already, right? So next week we are going to have the founder of Essie Marie's salad marinades and salad dressings. Ishona Scott is going to come on next Monday, so you guys don't want to miss her. You know, we're highlighting our wonderful authors and founders, and those who created their own businesses and foundations. Of course, we are looking at our Black history, African American history
Mhm.
on this month. So we want to. I mean, we're not just going to do it in February, but there is
Absolutely.
a heightened focus on this month. So make sure you guys join us, and we'll see you on actually next Monday. So take a note; it'll be next Monday evening. You will see the promos, but I don't want you guys to miss our next guest. Okay, so we'll talk soon. And I want you guys to be safe. And, God was giving me something on this morning, and I just want to share it with you. Before you take another step, make sure you are walking in grace.
Amen.
And then I need you to find out what that looks like for you. Amen. So walk in grace. God has great things in store for each and every one of us. All right. So we will see you guys soon, and follow us. And until next time.
Get caught in a net with